Yo, what's up guys, Real Ones here, and welcome back to another brand new video, guys. Like I said in my previous video, I'm trying to get way more consistent with the uploads again. I know that I kind of paused off on the uploads a bit, like I explained in my last video. It's due to the view counts being misinterpreted, stuff like that, so I was just kind of like, alright, I'm going to take a break for a bit and then come back. But we are going to be back now on a semi-weekly upload as scheduled. But anyways, guys, let's get back into the topic of this video, which is Battlefield 2042 any better now than it was before? And for me personally, I've always thought that the main reason why people were pissed at Battlefield 2042 was not because of the gunplay. It was kind of because of the maps. I'm not going to lie, the maps are still to this day not 100% the best, other than the reworks. But at the main core of what I noticed that people did not like about 2042 was the identity crisis that it has. Now, it's okay for a franchise like Battlefield and Call of Duty to not come out with a story mode, because usually the multiplayer mode would then be like 10 times better because there's more resources allocated to that, right? That's at least what I thought would happen. That wasn't the case with Battlefield 2042. In Battlefield 2042, it seems like people have built up such a cool lore around it, you know? It's like, it's almost the end of the world kind of scenario, like, there's only a few countries left remaining, right, fighting each other. But instead of digging into that lore, right, and instead of making a story mode or something linked to that, they just decide to go on this completely unrealistic route where literally the enemy players look the exact same as you. I mean, come on, like, they could have at least tried, you know what I mean? Like, with Call of Duty, the operators on the enemy team are different than on your team. They look completely different, and they're completely different skins. 2042, your enemy looks the same. So, main issue I think that 2042 has always had is identity crisis. Now, has that changed since it's first released? No, it hasn't. The only thing that they've done is they're starting to bring back the OG class system, but it's barely even OG, to be honest, because they didn't know what they were doing. So identity crisis, it still hasn't been solved. And to be honest with you, 2042, I feel like it's one of those Battlefield games where I feel like we're all going to kind of take it as like Battlefield Hardline, where it's like we don't count this as the big, you know, Battlefield 6. You know what I mean? Like, we don't count it as that, and we're not counting as a successor to Battlefield 4 or 3. I feel like we're just treating this like a completely its own little story. Like, 2042 is just like, it's in the Battlefield universe, but it's not a true Battlefield game. At least that's how I feel like most people have taken it. But honestly, 2042, it's not that bad though, if I'm being honest with you. At least now they've gotten a decent amount of content back into it, as much as they can, because most developers, let's be honest, they've been pulled off of this game already and on to the next one. But for the most part, the game isn't that bad. Content's gotten better. Gunplay's always been pretty good in 2042. I can't lie, it's honestly been one of my favorite games for gunplay. But another thing is that, again, the identity crisis even comes into the gunplay. The gunplay has copied a little bit from Modern Warfare 2019 Warzone, and a lot from Apex Legends and Titanfall. Battlefield is not Titanfall. If they want another Titanfall game, they should let Respawn help them out with another Titanfall, like Titanfall 3, and EA can get another big shooter in the playing market. But let's keep those mechanics out of Battlefield. I think we can all agree on that. Because even though the gunplay is awesome, a lot of people do not like it. I, for one, don't mind it, but I guess I'm biased because I love Titanfall, right? But I feel like a lot of people don't like the gunplay in this game because they basically feel like they're just playing a Titanfall clone. Now again, it's one of those things where you're either gonna love the gunplay in this game or you're gonna absolutely hate it. At least that's what I've learned from what I've heard of online and from what people's main complaints have been about. Another thing Battlefield 2042 really struggles with is that honestly, it's just, it doesn't feel like Battlefield like I was telling you guys, but it's trying so hard to be something that it's not, if that makes sense. So it's trying to be I feel like it's almost trying to be a different game. It's not even trying to be Battlefield anymore. But the truth of the matter is, though, in the core gameplay, when I'm playing the maps and I'm playing the game just for, like, if I play it for like an hour session just to give it a chance, it still does have just that little bit of a Battlefield punch in it, if that makes sense to you guys. Like, it just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like Warzone, it's not like any other game, it's just like, it has that little specialness to it. I feel like I know I'm explaining this terribly, by the way, guys, but, like, I'm sure everybody has, like, that only in Battlefield feeling and moment, right? Well, I still do feel that in this Battlefield game. I'm not gonna lie. It still does feel like Battlefield. Even if it doesn't act like it, look like it, right? Like, all the characters are different, all of that. At its actual core, I still know that I'm playing a Battlefield game. I don't feel like I'm playing Call of Duty, but still, again, the gunplay does feel like Titanfall. But honestly, still, I don't mind it. So overall, guys, though, has Battlefield improved? I would say definitely it's improved from when it first released. I think if you hated it when it first released, though, that you're still probably going to hate it. I think it's just one of those games where you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, and it's not much that anybody can say to really change your mind on that. You kind of have to play it for yourself. But like I said, for me personally, I've always been a fan of shooter games. I loved Battlefield 4. I actually didn't mind Battlefield Hardline, although it didn't feel like Battlefield. It still kind of played like it still had that kind of different playstyle, if you catch me. So I still honestly do not mind Battlefield 2042. I don't think it's as good as Battlefield 1, which I think is the true Battlefield 5, but it still is a decent game as a whole. But honestly, I don't think this game was ever worth $90 because of the lack of content that it had. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later.